Sulu, they were saying, yan ang western part ng Mindanao, ay nagsasagwan lang kami dyan, mga cousin namin yan, mga uncle namin yan. And that's why when they engaged in what is called trade, that was the historical trade that they have been doing a long, long time ago, because for them, the waters connect and they do not divide. But we stupid people, we look at the waters and we look at the waters as a source of divide. Sovereignty. We did not know what sovereignty looked like, internal and external sovereignty, until the treaties of Westphalia. By the way, Westphalia came from the West, came from Europe, and imposed it on us. How did this happen? Well, the powerful will define, and the powerless will be defined. Unfortunately, that is the real politics. Right now, if you will notice, China wants to be one of the definers. China wants to change the rules of the game. Ayaw niya yung rules sa IMF, sa WTO, sa ICC. Gusto niya kasama siya sa usapan. Yeah, kasama siya sa usapan, but she'd better make sure that while the international law is so, then she has to comply with, be in compliance with international law at this time, as we honor it and as we follow it until such time that we decide to change it under the leadership of China, assuming that we agree to that. All right, so remember, the reason why you have these three concepts embedded into your political life, in your constitution, is on account of the treaties of Westphalia. All right. The first conflict area that I'm going to talk about is Palestine. Now, why am I talking about Palestine? At layo naman ito sa atin. No? Pero malapit. I'll give you some anecdotes in regard to why Palestine is related to our political life. No? Many strands, actually. First of all, at the close of the war, of course you know that the Ottoman Empire lost, isn't it? Because it lost, the Western powers, the victorious allies, took over. And what is now known as West Asia, or Middle East, was just, lands where people travel, nomads. Whenever the grass will become short, then they will go elsewhere. So there was no Lebanon, there was no Jordan, there was Kuwait, but Kuwait was a province of Iraq. And the Middle East now was not the Middle East at the time of the Ottomans, because they were just disparate lands connected by rivers and connected by many, many other landforms. The two major protagonists in the division of the Middle East would be France and Great Britain. That is the reason why many of the countries they're in would have as their former colonial masters Britain and France. And Palestine happened to be within the jurisdiction of Britain. At the time, originally there were more Arabs there, Arab Palestinians, and they were living peacefully, happily with their Semite brothers who would now be the Israelis. But because somebody in Europe by the name of Adolf Hitler decided that certain groups of people, the ones who have brown skin like me, the gypsies, the Jews, that they do not belong to a master race called the Aryans, that they have to disappear from the face of the earth. I'm sure you know that. Yeah. So Adolf Hitler went on a dedicated policy as Chancellor of Germany to exterminate the Jews. Now, if you look at Palestine, historically, the Jews also, if you are a Catholic and you know your Bible history, you know, of course, that the Jews were in Egypt, they were thrown out in exile, and they wandered in the desert, isn't it? Yeah. That desert is Sinai, a desert. And if you look at the map, Sinai is southwest of Palestine. And so the homeland of the Jews would be Palestine, because that was pointed out to them as their future homeland. And so, fast forward, in the late 40s, both the Arabs and the Jews and the British occupiers were all in conflict, and Great Britain brought the attention of the UN of the Palestinian question to the United Nations, and the UN, at the behest of Great Britain, decided to divide Palestine. Guess how we voted? We voted not to divide. Well, because Jerusalem was a holy place for us, Catholics, for the Muslims, for the Jews. And so we voted not to divide, but the United States, part of the victorious allies at the time, we, one of the most devastated countries, second to Poland, were just, our economy was collapsed and we had to rely on the US for reparations. So the US told us in no mean terms, I want you to change your mind and to change your vote and vote for the partition of Palestine. So, one point. So we know that Palestine, however far it is from us, already is connected to our political history because we changed our vote, which brought the division of Palestine and all the conflicts that the Palestinians are now suffering because we voted to divide that once united land called Palestine. Second, another story related to that. I'm sure you know the Jews were in diaspora, and who was that president who allowed our country and gave them safe haven? You know that. Quezon opened our country to the Jews because they were all being evicted. They were gassed to death in the gas chambers, and we opened our country. But even then, we were so refugee-friendly, even at that time. The third, and this is a story often told to me by